Hey, somebody donate me a couple bucks so I can buy a real chainsaw. Ugh. Told you, those Ryobies just don't get the job done. Look, everybody, I'm sorry if my mic, that cheap mic, I don't have any money for any real equipment. What you did. Hey. sense. I gotta go down to Lowe's. I gotta buy me a new chainsaw. That thing ain't working. I'm running low on bar oil. I'm sorry. Look how nice. I gotta get a new chainsaw. That thing ain't gonna get the job done the way we need it. truck's pulling up. I hope he's a friendly. People get real weird about cemeteries. It's like I'm out here doing honor, cleaning. This is obviously it's been forgotten about. He's turning around, whatever that man's doing. Maybe he's here to come and give me a hand. Gosh, fine. Lots and lots and lots of trash. Well, it looks nicer now, as y'all can't see. I'm so sorry. So we opened up this area and we're gonna weed whack it. Friends, I had to start somewhere. I got to get a better chainsaw. Why don't y'all donate me, friends? Go over to thegrizzlyarmy.com. Look, I got 2 of these garbage Ryobis. This thing, well, I'm out of bar oil. Friends, I can't even get this thing to run. I mean, it runs and then it don't, and then it's just a pain in the butt. But it did sit up for a little while. And then I got a second Ryobi, and something on the bar got bent, and now the chain won't even move. It just binds up. Oh. So we're gonna make a big generous pile right over here, and then we'll come back out with the work party and chop it all up. See, check it out, friends. This flag isn't that old, maybe less than a year. Somebody's been out here. We're going to put it back because I won't ever throw away anything that I use. But you couldn't even see the grave there, friends. It's pretty sad, isn't it? I told you, no veterans headstone left behind. But also with that responsibility of cleaning up the veterans, I'm not just out here to clean up the 10 or 20 veterans. We're gonna clean this whole cemetery up. It might take me a couple weeks. The more y'all get out here, friends, Riverview, Florida. It's real easy to find. Samford. I'll be out here tomorrow with my tractor. But I gotta be very careful. This is the kind of place I'll hit a stump or a stone and break my underdeck on the John Deere. We're going to be very careful and take our time. And friends, I'm going to call Hillsborough County at some point. I'm going to call the county and I'm going to ask them to come out and get all this crap out of here, you know? Wouldn't it be something if the county was actually responsible for this and then they just, with all the DEI and all the incompetence, they just forgot about it? And then me, of all people, come out here and discover that maybe it falls under their leadership. I can only pray. I can only pray for that. All right. I didn't bring enough gas, and I'm getting low on chainsaw bar oil. You got to have oil in there. Keeps the blade. Keeps it liberating. But friends, I'm so sorry about the mic earlier. Just won't mess with it. But I know the wind. You're gonna get a lot of the wind. We're gonna fire up the. Well, hold on. We're gonna fire up the weed whacker in a minute. Friends, you must watch out for bees. There could be bees out here. What a mess, friends. I mean, look at this place. I mean, I haven't even scratched the surface. We got to get all this crap hauled out of here. So I'm definitely going to have to make some phone calls. Friends, another safety you must look for is bees. Friends, I had bees at my house. It's true, friends. I had a hive, and they were a nightmare to get rid of. Cost us $300. And the bee man, he had to come out. Oh, hey, what's going on, everybody? Oh, somebody said I'm an idiot. Oh, thank you so much for that nice compliment. Probably sitting at mom's house in the basement somewhere. That's okay, my friend. You know, the Bible is very clear. We're not supposed to call anybody an idiot. The Bible is very clear about that. You should read the Bible. So you go ahead and log off immediately. I'll go find the verse for you. But you don't really seem like a bright person, but that's okay. We got mercy for folks like y'all. Oh, friends, okay. Now we're going to get the weed whacker fired up. You know, friends, there ain't nothing like doing the Lord's work to bring out the best in us. And that devil, some of y'all that have that darkness in you, it also does a good job of bringing that darkness out of you. Those nasty comments. I'm definitely not an idiot, my friend. I'm far from that. I'm just doing something a little differently than you with my life and my time on this earth, because I know it's very minute. And friend, I'm master level trained. I'm not a dummy. I just pretend to be. Okay. Here we go. Now this one, friends, the Echo always gets the job done. And I hadn't fired it up in a while. So we'll give it some pumps. Make sure that but I'm real low on fuel, so I was not planning on getting a workout here, but you got to start somewhere. What'd I tell you? It already fired up. Friends, I told you, the Echo don't ever disappoint. But I need some. Oh, I got one. Friend, once you come on out here, you can call me an idiot to my face, and I'll take it. I'll turn the cheek, and you can call me whatever you want. But then I'm gonna put your butt to work. We're gonna get all that hate. We're gonna work all that hate right on at you. Sure, but look, we got the veterans. We got the veterans. All right, I don't want to push on the sun. That's how much of an idiot I am. Oh, hey, I love the comments, even the nasty ones, because friends, even if you do nasty comments, it helps me out, friends, because it pushes my content Well, any comment, friends, as long as it ain't get you banned, you can do any comment. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings, friends. Friend, I sued the federal government. I took on way bigger perverted demons than you, and I won. 2 directors, friends. 2 directors gone. That's not cool. I'll tell you what, though. I tell you what. I can't be mad at you completely because I have from time to time been an idiot. Truly, I've done a lot of idiotic things in my time. I used to drive drunk on my Harley all the time. My Harley, my friend. Speaking of Harleys, I used to drink and drive, and that was most certainly, yes, I was an idiot for doing that. Oh, yeah, all day long. Oh. Friends, I'm just kind of messing around here. We got a lot of work to do. These are some old ones. We'll just get to them real quick. I got to come back out here with some more fuel tomorrow. I got to come out here with some fuel. I got to go get a new chainsaw. Hey, my friend that likes to call names, donate me a couple bucks. I could use a couple dollars. Just go upstairs and ask Mom to write a check to the Grizzly Army Ministries. And I'll get your mom a nice tax write-off. But tell Mom I'm married. I'm not interested. That's I'm happily married. I don't need no more fan mail. Uh-oh. Hey, Mom can mail that check. Make it $200. Tell Mom $200 check. You shouldn't cause people eat. P.O. Box 346, Brandon, Florida 33511. I expect it to. Yeah, be very careful. This stuff's very brittle. All right, let's go, soldiers. Let's go. I don't want to mess with that one. That one's. Y'all got a weed whacker? Bring it out here. This is trash. So friends, of course, I'm always on the hunt for all my soldiers. Look what I just found, everybody. It's missing its head. Friends, that's a statue of a Confederate soldier, the Grays. Friends, I got lineage to the Confederate soldiers, you know? And I'm not here to litigate that period of our time, friends. That was a very, very bad period. Friends, the Civil War was the most costly war our country's ever been involved in. I'm talking by human, you know, we lost a lot of Americans. Look at that, friends, ain't that cool? So I don't know if that's a soldier over there. I don't think it is because the dates don't line up. But you just never know what you're gonna find out here. That is so cool. So we'll be out here tomorrow with the tractor. I'm just trying to, friends, I had to just find a starting point. I don't even know, how the hell do my weed whacker ain't gonna get all that. Look at this, what a mess. All right, friends, listen, I forgive you for the mean words. Truly I do, because I got to teach y'all about forgiveness. But look, friends, I need some help out here. We're in Riverview, Florida. If you're in the area, friends, reach out. I got a work number. Go to my website, grizzlyarmy.com. I need chainsaws, friends. I need some dump trailers. When we cut all this crap down, we got to haul it out of here, because somebody cut something over there and it's been there for a while. But look, friends, look at this tree over here. Listen, I'm sorry, earlier I thought that mic was working. But look, everybody, we got that. There's graves over there. We got to get that cleaned up. And look, in 10 minutes, I got that tree all opened up right there. And we do need to get that other branch taken out, but I don't feel comfortable with the chainsaw I got. But look at this, everybody. Isn't this sad? This is sad. I mean, even our friend on here calling us names. I mean, this is sad, my friend. You know, this could be one of your loved ones out here. And I would still do it for you, you know. I'm very generous. Because the Lord Jesus has been so generous to me. All right, everybody, I got to get back to work. We're just got to keep working. I'm about to run out of fuel. But friends, when I run out of fuel, we're going to run down to Lowe's and buy a new chainsaw. Friends, I literally got like 20 gas cans at the house. I don't fucking drive all the way back. Sergeant Kenneth Edward Bartonfield, United States Air Force. Cool. And his brother's right next to him. Friends, there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than getting graveyard dirt in your mouth. But we do it for our soldiers, friends. I told you, what is that? I got 2 graves down. Friends, know the rules. My goodness, that was nasty. Friends, the goal of the Grizzly Army, our mission, is to get every veteran's headstone cleaned in Hillsborough County. And then once we get that done, we'll move on to other counties. And then we'll open chapters. And then at some point, y'all will have your own little chapter. It'll be a 501c3, like a little secret society. And we'll get you promoted to a sergeant major. Friends, I want a Grizzly Army chapter in every city. I want y'all to run your own little Grizzly Army under the umbrella. Because we got to get our country put back together, friends. Friends, let me ask y'all a serious question. Where's my trash bag? Friends, can y'all control what the president does? It don't matter who he is. Obama, Joe Biden, the auto pen, Trumpster. It don't matter who the president is. Friends, can you control? You get one vote. You get one vote. Friends, you can't control what the government does. I learned the hard way when I was working at the Bay Pines VA. I couldn't control it, friends. But I got hired a lawyer and I sued him. Friends, we can't control the government. That's why I don't even care about politics anymore. Friends, I have moved past politics. When you get out of politics and you get into the spiritual realm, friends, you're out here doing this kind of stuff for free, friends. I don't charge nothing, but I do need some donations. Friends, we can't control what goes on around our world. We can't control what's going on in the Middle East. We can't control the price of gas. And getting angry And calling people idiots don't do nothing but cause more problems. But friends, what we can control is something right here in our backyard. We can come out here and do a police call. At a minimum, y'all can come out and clean up the trash. And if you got a weed whacker, friends, I'd recommend the Echo. Don't you dare use that Ryobi, my goodness. But friends, this is what we can control. We can control these little things in our community. And they feel really good when you get out here and do them. Truly, they do. All right, let's get back to work. Uh-oh. I'm about to be out of fuel. I got about another 5 minutes, maybe 10. Friends, I was not prepared. When I found this on Google this morning, I knew about this place, but when I found it and I saw that a lady had come out here and made a website about this place complaining. Friends, it was almost like she made it just for me and you. And she had a list of everyone that's buried out here on it. And then I saw Staff Sergeant. I saw World War II, and I said, oh my gosh, I gotta go. Friends, I threw on my field gear and I was out the door. That's why I forgot the fuel. But that's okay, friends. So friends, the truck, I got my Grizzly truck in my service set up in 2 configurations. Let's take a knee. Everybody come on in here. Come on, work party. That's right, y'all come on in here. Let's take a little break. Friends, either I'm out doing this type of stuff where I'm doing the weed whacking and I'm doing the police call and I got to configure my whole bed of my truck a certain way, or I'm out here cleaning the headstones. And right now I'm geared towards the headstones because we're doing headstone cleaning this Saturday. Again, friends, if you want to come out here, but you got a straight job, friends, I'd say straight, because I've worked with all manner of veterans in my travels at the Department of Veteran Affairs. Hold on, let me come in closer. I know that wind. Friends, I worked with homeless veterans. I got them housed in the HUD-VASH program. I worked in the homeless program. I was your peer support specialist at 3 different VAs. Just make sure I'm not taking a knee in an ant pile. Friends, I worked in substance abuse. Friends, I wasn't a part of it. I was your peer support there at Tampa. I did substance abuse courses. I worked with veterans in PTSD, mental health, the domiciliary. Friends, I even ran a group for veterans that were diagnosed with schizophrenia, friends. I'm social skills trained. It was like a year-long course I had to do, and a lot of practical, friends, it was a lot of training I got. And then when I lost my opportunity at the Bay Pines VA, friends, when I say lost, I didn't get fired because calling people names or stealing or doing nothing like that. Friends, I was run out of there under that last administration because of the diversity, equity, and inclusion. Maybe that's why you don't like me, my friend. That's okay. I'm spiritual. I know it ain't you and the other folks that make the nasty comments. It's that darkness in you. And there was a lot of folks. Hey, be drinking water now. We're not just chilling out under the shade. I see you. Better get that. Friends, these soldiers, you got to remind them to drink. I got my work party out here with me today. But friends, when you get to that spiritual level, you let Jesus take control. He will guide you to places like this. I mean, friends, I don't want to think about the amount of work that has to be done out here because I might be overwhelmed. And when I was reading y'all's comments earlier and y'all told me that my mic wasn't working, I was like, oh my goodness, But I turned all the cameras off and I prayed and I said, dear Lord Jesus, I need some help. This place, it'd take me a whole year to get this place squared away. Not quite a year, but it'll. Friends, when I was out at the Seffner Cemetery last summer, Seffner, that's where we're doing our work party this Saturday, friends. We're doing a work party. We're going to be cleaning all the headstones, but my job's all the veterans. And there's over 100, 150 out there of veteran headstones. Friends, last summer, God steered me to many cemeteries, but Seffner Cemetery over there in near Brandon, Florida, outside of Tampa. I got family out there. My granny and papa are buried out there. Me, mom, peepaw, my great-grandparents, all great aunts are all buried out there. And I had not been out there in a very, very long time. It didn't quite look like this place. I mean, again, friends, look around. Take a gander, friends. This place is a wreck. I'm shocked that there ain't piles of trash and tires that people had dumped out here. So that tells me that at least somebody is keeping an eye on the place. But I was drawn to Seffner Cemetery because I was going to go out there, and I was actually doing I did the weed whacking where Uncle David's buried, my brother-in-law. He was killed in Iraq, 2010, David Andrew Croft. And friends, we're going to be doing a Memorial Day event out in Turkey Creek because we don't mess around with the county any longer after their display of arrogance and pride and perversions at the Veterans Day, friends. I don't want to get into it. But God steered me to this cemetery in Sefner, and I just got to work, friends. But it literally took me 2.5 months to get that place the way it kind of looks now. And then the Brandon Roots and some other folks came out there and just got all the trees trimmed up. But friends, it was 5. When I say 5 truckloads of trash, I'm talking 5 truckloads. The bed full of trash bags, just like this kind of stuff, friends. All the plastic that people leave out here, the flags. And I wasn't even really starting on the tree trimming yet. But then I started getting to it, but then life kind of got in the way, just like it always does, friends. But friends, we can't forget about places like this. There's our history, our community. And I get it, friends. All these folks that live in these brand new homes over here, I guarantee you they're not from this area. Like a lot of y'all just moved down here from New York or somewhere else to Florida. And then y'all just carry on like you're back in New York, but you don't got all the problems. It's just so much work to do, friends. But listen, I was like a lot of y'all. You know, I lost my job opportunity. I was run out of there, friends. I didn't like it too good. I was the assistant chief of the voluntary service, friends. It was the best job besides my job now, friends. This is by far the best job I ever had in my life. Prior to this, friends, it was the best job I ever had in my life. Being a platoon sergeant, E7 in the Army. I was never a sergeant major. I retired as an E7. But I was an assistant chief of the voluntary service. I was a supervisor. I was in the executive career field. Friends, it was an $80,000 a year job. And if I hadn't have walked off the job and left in the manner I had to, I'd be making close to $90,000 a year now. But Jesus, that graveyard dirt, friends. I'm not complaining, Lord. It tastes wonderful. But friends, what I'm saying is it's all about reframing. You know, God had me go through the mental health training. Friends, I got my undergrads in psychology, University of South Florida. I went to Hodges University and I got 1 semester shy of having a master's degree. Master's, friends. I got all the training in the head. I wanted to be a mental health counselor at the VA to help other veterans with combat and things like that. But that wasn't Jesus' plan, friends. And Jesus has a plan for every one of y'all, even y'all haters out there. You know, I come on here and I kid around with y'all, but truly it does bother me. You know, y'all don't even know who I am. I could be your best friend. Or I could be your worst enemy. Just go ask Hillsborough County Veterans Park. They got to find out Sergeant Major's his protest side, and I told you they didn't like it too much. And that Bay Pines VA, they didn't like it either, friends. So friends, I need your stinking help. We got to get out here and get this stinking job done. There's a lot of work for all y'all. If I had 20 volunteers out here, we could get this place cleaned up on a weekend, Saturday, and then after church on Sunday. But I got 2 soldiers over here, and we just unearthed them. Well, we got the growth off. Friends, I got to get back to work. My mind's starting to play tricks on me. I'm looking around here. And friends, y'all know the rules. The rules of the cemetery. You're supposed to be able to look from one end of the cemetery clear to the other side of the cemetery without any obstructions. All you're supposed to see is headstones and see the fence. So we got a lot of work to do. We got to get this tree cleaned up, all this brush. So friends, without further ado, we're going to start working until I run out of fuel, and then we'll go get some more fuel. Friends, if y'all want to be a part of this, again, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be out here every day I can, every day. And the more content I create, then the more subscribers I get, you know? And then at some point, I'll get monetized. And then I can use that money to put some gas in the truck. Friends, gas is like right under $4 a gallon down here where we're at here in Florida. But you don't know, it could probably go up to $8 here if we don't get out of that conflict that we got ourselves involved in again. Friends, go to the website, grizzlyarmy.com. Send me a donation. I just got my D2. I got the 5-gallon jug got delivered today. But that's only going to go so far. D2 biological agents, what we're supposed to use on all these headstones. But believe it or not, friends, the headstones out here are not the problem. It's all the growth. I mean, there's some that need some cleaning. But the headstones don't look that bad. It's crazy. I don't know. All right, friends, I got to get back to work. So if you want to be a part of it, friends, reach out. I could use your help. If you got an organization, the Boy Scouts, I don't know, friends. The Women's Auxiliary, I don't stinking care. I need your stinking butts out here. Then we can all take part in the success of getting our community cleaned up, everyone. Now we're gonna have to retire that one. That one's no longer serviceable. Graveyard dirt. How we doing on there? How's some cops? Y'all being nice? Everybody behaving? Come here. What is this thing? Is this a roach? Look how huge this bug is over here. Where'd he go? Friends, here's the rules. You leave the wildlife alone unless they're messing with you. This is their home. I got graveyard dirt everywhere in my nose. But I'm not complaining. What do y'all think? It's looking pretty good, huh? told you this Echo gets a stinking job done. First, look at that. 20, 30 minutes. Look how nice this place is already starting to look. Look at that, friends. I mean, I'm gonna come through here tomorrow with the tractor and really chop up all the garbage. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have graveyard snot boogers for days. But friends, when you come out here, you gotta clean up, you gotta do a police call. We're gonna be doing that here later. We kind of already, hold on friends, I got graveyard. We did a little bit. But look at that, doesn't that look nice? That little area there? And there's our pile of debris, a bunch of junk. Now we gotta go in here, friends. This area in here will look like this area, but I don't know about today. I gotta go get some more fuel. Here's what we can do. Look, friends, that's right. That's all correct, friends. Check it out, check it out. Friends, this is my 3-point sling from my home defense. Ain't that cool? I gotta go get a trash bag. Here's another veteran right here. Hold on, let me go get my trash bag. I want y'all to stand at the position of attention for my soldier right there. I'll be right back, friends. Let me go get my trash bag. All right. Now this flag looks pretty, that's like borderline. It looks dirty. So what we do, everybody, we do with the flags, we roll up. Can y'all see? Okay, I'm trying to. Friends, we retire all these flags. I don't ever dare throw these flags away. We gotta, even though this is probably made in China, we still got to show a little honor, you know? Because if we lose those things, friends, then again, we don't have a country anymore. Typically, I'll put the flag in my pocket. And then when I get home, I put them with all the other ones. You can just throw the stick away. Oh, no, this is garbage, friends. Oh, I told you, friends, those ants, those damn ants. Holy crap, look at them ants. Hold on, friends, I gotta check. Holy crap, friends, what I tell you about working in the cemetery business. Friends, look at that. You see how fast those ants were? Though I've seen bigger ones, but my goodness, look how angry they are. Did you hear me scream like a little woman? Friends, I told you, the fright's real. Holy crap, friends. You must be careful. Oh my gosh, friends, my God, that thing almost got me. Ants. The ants, the snakes, and the bees, friends. You're gonna have all sorts of things out here. Make sure none are in my glove. That'd be horrible. It's one of the dangers of working in the cemeteries, because the ants love those type of things. And I've been very careful all day looking, but that one caught me off guard because I got complacent. Oh my God! And you got to wear the gloves when you're out here with everybody. And look, donate me a couple bucks. I got some holy gloves, friends. I mean, I ain't talking like they're holy like Jesus. They got holes in them. Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness. Get on out of here. Lord Jesus, I don't want no problems from none of your creatures. moving your pest. All right, friends, we got a job to do. I can't be girly. We got to get back to work. Wow, I told you the mints. But isn't that cool, friends? My little 3-point sling. And then now, what a mess, friends. Look at this. Friends, I got family members. I see Jimmy Ray. Jimmy, I'm coming, Jimmy. Jimmy, stand back. Who is that? Jimmy Lee, Jimmy Ray, we got you. We got you, my friend. Alright, friends, I'm shocked that that line lasted as long as it did, but we need to get more line. Friends, this is horrible. Look at this. Alright, look, friends, we're going to end the live streams. I got to roll. I got to go get some fuel. I got to put some line. And again, I don't do this for the likes and the views. I do it because I need to get it done. Oh, we got so much work to do out here. All right, let's just see real quick. Okay. All these people, I tell you, you know, got some IBS. All right, look, friends, I got to roll. We'll be back in a little while. But look, whoever you are logged on, we're out here. We're in Riverview. I think it's the Samford Cemetery. This place, this place is a wreck. The only thing that's missing is a pile of tires, you know, old tires, and just we got this squared away just a little while ago. We got some trees trimmed up. We got a lot more work to do. So look, friends, we'll be back in a little while. Y'all stay groovy.